What's up? It's Andre Blattner, Games. Nintendo, I think, has given up on Directs. They have just stopped the decision to make a 40-minute video with a bunch of games. Like, look, all our games are tight. Let's just make short videos about each one, give them the focus, and just drop it whenever we feel like it. And that's what they did today. Hyrule Warriors, Age of Calamity. And what's interesting is it says a story 100 years before The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. So it's a Hyrule Warriors game, but it's actually going to be canon as you can get with Zelda games with Breath of the Wild. Now, I've played Hyrule Warriors, the first game, but didn't really ever finish it. There's a lot of game in that. I also played Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, didn't finish it because there's a lot of game in that. I have a really bad habit of starting Zelda games and not finishing them. I need to work on this habit. Maybe I'll have you help me on Twitch with this habit. But let's watch this trailer and this presentation and see what's going to be going on with the next Zelda game before that sequel to Breath of the Wild that they announced a while back, but it's probably gonna be a while before we see it. All right, let's go. Here we go.
Hello everyone, I'm Eiji Aonuma, the producer of the Legend of Zelda series.
Hello.
We mentioned in the June 2019 Nintendo Direct presentation that we had started development on the sequel to The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Yes.
Many people around the world are still playing Breath of the Wild, so I'd like to thank you all from the bottom of my heart. Everyone, thank you so much.
I promise to play it again. I promise to play it again.
Regarding the sequel, in order to make the vast world you enjoyed exploring in the original game even more impressive, the team is working hard on its development. So you'll have to wait a bit longer before we can provide more updates.
Of course.
In the meantime, we've prepared a different way for you to experience the world of Hyrule, and we have a video to introduce it. Please take a look.
I will. Please take a look. I love that phrase.
The history of the royal family of Hyrule
Whoa.
is also the history of Calamity Ganon, a primal evil that has endured over the ages.
I think you are now ready. Ready to hear what happened 100 years ago.
Oh, so, okay. All right. I see what they're doing here. Filling in that story, and now that's the game. But then that's going to be sad because Calamity Ganon happened. So no matter how good you play this game, the results are still the same. Not good results. Oh, wow. Oh, it looks good, too. It's wow, yeah, it is totally Hyrule Warriors, but it has the Breath of the Wild style. The Breath of the Wild style. That's really nice. Oh yeah. Ooh. Hey. Yeah, but like, yeah, but he gonna come back. Hyrule Warriors, Age of Calamity. Coyote, Tiny Toons.
I must protect.
See? 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 See what I'm talking about? Sad.
What you just saw is the game that KOEI Tecmo Games is developing.
That's so
Hyrule
cool.
Warriors, Age of Calamity.
I love that it has the look
This
of
game
Breath
takes
of the
place
Wild,
100 years before the events of the Legend
but
of
it has
Zelda
the
Breath of
play
Wild.
style of Hyrule Warriors. That's really cool.
In that game, the Great Calamity that occurred 100 years prior was mentioned, but the actual event itself wasn't shown in full. In this game, you'll be able to experience the events of the Great Calamity.
Nice. This could be an actual
So
good
now, I
prequel
would
for
like
once.
to invite KOEI Tecmo Games producer, Mr. Hayashi, to join me here.
I'm sorry. Games usually have really good prequels. I'm making fun of movies in general.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
I'm Yosuke Hayashi from KOEI Tecmo Games and the producer of this game. Hyrule Warriors, Age of Calamity began when Mr. Aonuma approached us saying, I think it would be interesting to create a Warriors game telling the story of the Great Calamity. What do you
That's
think?
so cool. That's so cool that they decided to do it in
battles between
Warriors.
the Kingdom of Hyrule and Calamity Ganon
It kind of makes
complement
sense.
Warrior-style gameplay against large armies. The previous Hyrule Warriors games were filled with Zelda conventions.
Yeah.
The Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild, broke these conventions entirely, and perhaps it's the same for everyone here, but for someone like me, who's been playing Zelda games for a long time, this was an extraordinary experience. It's a new, special title for me.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna do a
Unlike the
redo of
previous
Breath of the
Hyrule
Wild.
Warriors
Just start from
games,
the beginning and just
Hyrule
really
Warriors,
get deep
Age
into
of
it.
Calamity was developed by working closely with the Zelda team in every step of the process, including gameplay direction, graphics, world, and all dialogue.
So cool.
And while we maintained the distinct gameplay style of the Warriors series, with exciting 1 versus 1,000 battles and a wide variety of playable
Which I love. I love that
this
style.
became the only game that will let you experience the world 100 years prior to the events of The Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild, first.
That's so smart. That's so smart. Because you would think they would just do it as a regular Zelda game, but it totally makes sense being a battle like this to make it a
Thank you,
Warriors
Mr.
game.
Hayashi.
That's so smart.
During the development of the previous Hyrule Warriors games, I was impressed with how the Warriors development team, led by Mr. Hayashi, had a deep understanding of the Legend of Zelda series.
Nice.
This time around, they made it possible to create this new experience by combining the well-detailed world of Breath of the Wild with Warriors gameplay. Therefore, I believe this game will offer the experience of the Great Calamity battles that weren't fully shown in the original game.
That's such a
That both those who
This
played
is
the previous
genius.
Hyrule
This is
Warriors
legit
games,
genius.
and those who played the Legend of Zelda Breath of
This
the
is
Wild
why I'm so
can
glad they're
experience this
putting
game.
the properties out in different
Hyrule
styles like
Warriors
this,
Age
because
of
now this
Calamity
makes
will
sense.
launch on November 20th.
Oh my gosh! And it's coming out this year. Wow. That's really cool. I was thought they were going to say 2021.
Legend of Zelda.
Wow. Wow. Thank you. Wow. That's really cool. I just think this is a really smart idea. Like, if you're gonna have a war, the warrior style is a really good way of doing that, as opposed to, I mean, obviously the Legend of Zelda gameplay is great gameplay, but I think to try to tell this particular story, it's so great that they already did Hyrule Warriors to now look at it and go, wait, we want to tell this particular story about this battle. That's kind of the format to do it in, and I love that. I think that is just such a cool thing. This is why I love when Nintendo steps outside a little bit, works with other companies with their brands and come up with these different concepts, because now even when they want to tell stories in their own games, they now have these different ways of being like, oh, we can do it this way. This really makes so much sense. I know I might be just hyping this too much because, you know, it's gonna be a Warriors game. It's gonna play like the other Warriors games, but I just feel like the idea of this is a way to tell the story that then links into that links into Breath of the Wild. So now when you hear that story in that game, you can now look at this game and be like, and now I get to experience that battle, even though we know the outcome. I at least get to be a part of that battle. That's just really smart. And the fact that it's coming out in 2020, again, didn't know anything about it, and it's gonna be dropping this year. That's really cool, man. That's really awesome. So see, you know, sometimes Nintendo gets a little quiet, but if you let them tinker, let the Nintendo elves work on the game shoes, then when they pop up, they're like, hey, boom, psh, Mario 3D All-Stars, psh, Hyrule Warriors, Age of Calamity. I'm excited about this, but I need to keep playing through Hyrule Warriors, and I definitely need to go back and redo Breath of the Wild. I don't know what it is about Zelda games. I love Zelda. I love Link. I love the world. I never finished them. So make sure you follow me on Twitch as well, twitch.tv/BlackNerdGames, because you might be seeing me try to attempt to beat some Zelda games on there in the future. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you're excited about this. Can we get a Mario version of this? I will be so happy about that. I think that could actually be a lot of fun.